What is going on, Cupbangers? Today I'm driving Pedro's S-Class. I'm Alejandro, and let's talk about cars. Yo, hit it, Pedro! In today's episode of Let's Talk About Cars, yo, I want to straighten out the story about the new McLaren F1 that doesn't exist anymore, but does exist. So let me tell you exactly what happened. Last week, over the course of the weekend, Autocar got a hold of information that they released on their website where they revealed that McLaren, through their MSO team, were going to revive the F1. And they were going to do that with a 3-seater car with the 3.8-liter engine configuration that the cars have right now, 700 to 800 horsepower, and it was not going to require any battery assistance. It was going to be the new hypercar from McLaren. Only 64 units were going to be produced, and only a few select customers. No one knew how to get them. Right after that, Autocar made another press release where they said that the CEO of McLaren completely denies the car. And I quote part from the article from the CEO of McLaren. "People ask me all the time for 3 seats, a V12, and a manual gearbox. I just don't think there's a real business case to build one of those." So sir, let me get this straight. People ask you all the time to build that car, yet you don't think that there's business there. So that smells like a lot of hunk of shit. Also, let me tell you that I know for a fact that there's a car indeed being offered by McLaren that has a 3-seat configuration to only 64 clients, very limited car, and I've seen one NDA already for the car. So I know this is a real thing. McLaren I feel like what happened there was Autocar got the information, released it, and because they have a good relationship with McLaren, McLaren was like, guys, this is what happens at every car company. And Autocar was like, oh, right, we were not supposed to release that. Then they did the apology thing. To me, this is a real thing. One other thing I know about this car right now is that it will not be street legal. So it cannot compete directly with the Nebula. It cannot compete directly with the Chiron. Also, McLaren is talking about an F1 car, right? Also, if you read the disclaimer, they're talking about we never said that we were going to build an F1, and it's not going to be a manual, and it's not going to be a V12. No one ever said that that was the case, homie. We all talked about a 3.8-liter V8 engine. I think what happened was that when the car got mistaken by the F1 and people started bitching like, why no V12? Why not a manual? Why this? First of all, McLaren, no one's asking you to build the old car. The old car is built and sold, right? That would be ridiculous. You're adapting to time, so you're building the new one. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a road legal car. So that means your R&D and development is going to be way lower for the car. But if you were going to develop the car that, again, let me just quote this again because it's brilliant. People ask me all the time for 3 seats, a V12, and a manual gearbox. All the time. And I just don't think there's a real business case to build of one of those. Really, because according to Pedro's calculations, which are right here, if you were going to build 300 units and you were going to price each one of those units at $3.5 million, that means your car would be covered up to $1.05 billion worth of R&D. For you guys to have an idea, the Porsche 918 Spyder cost about $1 billion of development. Obviously, you can write off that development and pour it into some other places by saying, you know, the Cayenne also used that, the Macan also used that, the S-Class also used that, so you start diluting that. Again, McLaren, you can definitely make this car an exclusive, you can make money on it, and you can develop even more your brand. So there's no excuse there saying like, yeah, people ask me for the car, but there's just no business for it, because all of your clientele is rich for the most part. So I am extremely excited about your car until today. I know that this is going to make my chances way worse of getting one. But you know what? People have to know. Anyways, Cup to the Bangers. What do you think about this car not being really a street legal one? Because if that's right, it kind of doesn't push McLaren to the next step as far as where Aston Martin and Red Bull are going. I think the Nebula would be the one for me between these two if I had to choose one of the two. For sentimental reasons would be the McLaren, but not for anything else. So Cupbangers, let me know what your thoughts are on this car. Do you think it's bullshit? Do you think it's not bullshit? And let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so very much for watching. As always, Cup to the Bangers. I'm Alejandro, and I do not approve this message. Peace in my pants.